Welcome to the Next Ring podcast, season 2 of the Next Ring. This is your host, Adam Bruzzese, joined tonight by Chris Garabedian. G, football is kind of back. It's time to talk Patriots.
It is, man. After the World Cup ended, it was a great World Cup tournament. But after that, man, I'm like, dude, I need football back. I'm craving sports. I'm craving the Patriots. I got back on Twitter. I was like, all right, I get back on Twitter. I got to be refreshing all the Patriots beat reporters every day to see what's going on in training camp, who's getting going, who's looking good. So, for me, my summer is over. I'm done with summer. I want it to be football season now. I'm on to football. I'm on to the Patriots. So it's a great time of year. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of enjoy the month or two where there's no sports going on. Just watch a bunch of movies and TV shows and stuff. But I just growing up, time of year comes around, football's coming. I was thinking today, it's usually when you're a kid, school's coming around, football practice starting up. Just a great time for new beginnings. And yeah, man, I'm very excited about the Patriots. I feel like NFL's offseason does kind of die off a bit. After the draft, it's we had the A.J. Brown thing. It's been pretty dead. So I feel like I haven't even been tuned into the league as much, but I'm starting to kind of do my little football preview and really just super hyped about this Pats team right now.
Yeah, they're kind of being a little slept on, right? Obviously everyone, last year said, oh, it's because of the schedule. Oh, it's because, they didn't have to play XYZ quarterback. At the end of the day, they had a great year last year. They didn't rest on their laurels. They actually are a way better football team than the one that took the field in the Super Bowl in February. So I'm excited too, man.
Yeah, that was one of my talking points I was going to get to, is I'm seeing a lot of people say things like, oh, the Patriots, they should fall back to earth this year. They'll take a step back. And it's their offseason does not suggest that whatsoever. I thought they had a phenomenal offseason looking at the team right now. This is a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, I mean, their quarterback's only going to get better. He was second in the league in MVP voting, probably should have won the MVP. It's the first time for Drake Maye since he was in high school that he's had the same offensive coordinator back-to-back years in a system that's been successful in the NFL. All the same coaches. They upgraded the wide receiver room tremendously. They've upgraded the offensive line tremendously. There's still some question marks at edge on the defense and pass rush and things like that, but this is a good football team, man. This isn't going to be a team that sits there and they came back down or they won 6 games. That's not going to be the Patriots this year.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
It's a good team. So, today's topic was kind of basically going through the biggest question marks and just kind of topics for the Patriots heading to the season. I think we'll start probably doing these podcasts, hopefully weekly again going forward now that the Pats are back. But the first topic, I think the biggest topic around the training camp is this whole Christian Gonzalez situation. So, obviously he still hasn't signed yet. I will say do you know the guy who's the Strega guy?
Yes.
He tweeted,
Nicky Verano, right?
Instagram, yeah, he posted on Instagram saying contract coming imminently or something like that. So, I mean, this could be done soon. I don't know if that's actually real. He was with Gonzalez in the picture, but it's interesting. I think they're an adventure because you got to think all right, they're saying he wants to wait until Witherspoon signs his deal to sign his contract. He wants to be the highest paid corner in the league. They're putting on the pads tomorrow. Last year, he got hurt early in camp, right? When they put the pads on, he missed 2 months. Yeah. So, yep. I mean, the idea of all right, is he going to wait this out? Is he going to I think they asked him if he was going to have the pads on. He was like, I'll see. He didn't
and I'll be there.
Be there. Yeah. So it's is he going to practice tomorrow? I guess that's going to be a big question, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Vrabel's going to put up with a hold-in, where a guy's in mini camps and the stuff and the OTAs and stuff like that, where it's not really anything. It's more just or organized workouts. That's one thing. During training camp, I don't know how well that will be well received. And I don't know, from some of his comments too, when they were asking him, they're like, oh, well, a lot of your guys, in your situation, Gonzalez, they'll hold in. And he was like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, I can't just sit here and watch. I got to be out there with my guys. So I don't know. I think they're closer than people think. And I don't know if I did originally think that he was going to wait to see what Witherspoon signed for because they have the same agent. Witherspoon's a slot guy. He's going to make less, and Gonzo wants to make. So I get all that, right? But I saw something today that Witherspoon and the Seahawks are like way far off. Like they're not close on money. Seahawks are going to have new ownership too, so that's a factor. They're selling the team. They're probably not going to want to allocate a ton of resources everywhere right away. So Witherspoon might not get done, which is a great opportunity for the Patriots to get this done now if they're close. And I do think they are close because I don't think he would. I don't think he would. On the flip side, even though I don't think it would go over well with Vrabel if he was holding in, I don't think he would be participating at all if they weren't close. Like if they were so far off of numbers, like I don't think that he would. I don't think that he would be participating.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this team has the attitude right now of we almost won the Super Bowl last year. Like we got a better team. Like this team is very bought in, like, all across the board. And I mean, I was going to bring up obviously Kraft's comments last week about like, oh, we offered him the biggest contract in team history. He'd be the highest paid. So like,
what did you think of that, by the way?
So first off, they can't be that far away from him saying if they're offering him that type of contract, like how far off can they be for numbers? But I thought that was just crap. That was like some Jerry Jones shit, like just stupid.
I hated it.
Shut up, dude. Like what? That's not. You're not. Nobody wants you to do that. Like you think the front office and Vrabel were happy he did that? No, they weren't like, oh, Bob, go put it out in the media. Obviously, Gonzalez wasn't thrilled about it either. He kind of like he wasn't like visibly pissed and like made like a really like strong response to it, but you don't put that in the media. That's not like professional at all.
That's not what you do, dude.
Yeah.
That is one way to obviously get the player upset. You know who that really pisses off is the fucking agent.
Yeah.
That's who's going to be really upset. Oh, really, Kraft? Because listen, Robert Kraft's done a great job with the Patriots. Obviously, we won 6 championships. We'd be in St. Louis without him. All that, right? I get it. But the Patriots do have a history of this in certain situations where they're like, oh, it's the highest paid. Then it's like, you look, okay, what's the guaranteed money? What's the guaranteed numbers? And yeah, maybe they did offer him a contract that says he is on paper the highest paid player in Patriots history and the highest paid cornerback in the NFL and all that, right? But what's the actual guarantees? And it's like, yeah, dude, they're not that's not probably not commiserate of what Gonzalez feels is acceptable. So they got to get it right, dude. They can't afford to mess this up. This team is too good. It's not like we're like we're a 500 team. It's like, dude, we have a chance to be a very, very strong football team this year. You got to take care of your homegrown guys.
Yeah, and I think Carlton Davis and Charles Woods both got hurt yesterday, and I don't think we know anything about the severity, but like you need Gonzalez out there week 1. You need him on the field all season. I think it might like gut feeling is within the next couple of weeks it gets done, but I can't imagine. Too. I think he's playing week 1. Yeah. So next topic that I've been thinking a lot about is how will Drake Maye respond to his MVP caliber regular season, followed by pretty miserable playoffs and like an outright embarrassing Super Bowl? Because I mean, if they get that level of play they got from him last year, like we said, this team's right back in the mix to win the AFC again.
Yeah, I mean, I think right, like in life, and just in sports, if you get embarrassed and you get humiliated in a big stage, there's no middle ground. You go one of two ways. You either say, no, that wasn't me. That was just a bad day. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to get back here and I'm going to become a champion and I'm going to be a great player in this league. And last year wasn't a fluke. Or it goes in your head and you go down the tubes and you pull a Carson Wentz and you're not the same guy anymore. I don't think Drake Maye is cut from that cloth. He's a mentally tough kid. Like, I think he's got the right, cut of his jib. I think he's, the right DNA, all that. So I think he'll end up being fine. And the thing that's I think is really important for him too is we have so much continuity on the coaching staff. Like we didn't lose anybody offensively. Like it's the same staff, and the team around him has improved. So I think he looks great. He looks jacked. He looks like he's gained 10 pounds of muscle. In the last 6 months, he looks really, really good physically. So I'm expecting him to bounce back, be resilient, he doesn't strike me as a social media guy either. So like, I don't think he's paying attention to any of this shit or anything that anybody's been saying about him or anything like that. So I think he'll handle this the right way.
Yeah, I mean, like I was thinking about the size and him putting on some weight. He's still turning 24 in the end of August. Like he's still like in that age where you're like you do bulk up a little bit more. Could even see it help him like sustain some of these hits in the run game a little bit if he continues to bulk up. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean it's like you add Brown and Dobbs and you beef up the offensive line and Bootie's looking like a star at training camp. Like this could be a really elite offense if everything clicks, and it feels more likely than not that it will. And yeah, I can't wait to watch him play football again. Like I had so much fun, as you know, watching him play last season, and like that whole ride and seeing him ascend, I think it was just a blast, man. And I can't wait to see how the offense looks. Like, and even like preseason, I can't wait to tune in. I don't know if we'll play, but I'm pumped. But yeah, I think that's huge. And
There's
then
nothing like having a quarterback, bro. You know what I
yeah,
mean? In the years, if you're a football fan and you live and breathe this shit like we do, your life as a football fan is: do you have the guy or do you not have the guy? Obviously, we had the greatest of all time for most of our lives. Then he leaves. We have nothing. We had a year of Cam Newton. We had a little bit of small hope, Mac Jones rookie year, but that was more, kind of fugazi. That was never real. And then obviously the couple of years afterwards, which were a disgrace. So you live in those 5-6 years of purgatory post Tom, and then it's like, are we ever going to get the guy again? It's like, and then you already have him in such a short order. It's like it breathes life into this organization. It's like, no, this is going to be the guy
this
who's
is
going
the
to
guy.
take us to
Yeah.
where we need to go in the next 10 years.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Can't wait. The other kind of big question mark roster thing, and this is topic number 3, is the whole Gabe Jacas situation. So the last time we talked Patriots, we were like celebrating how hyped we were that we draft this kid. Like, and throughout the whole draft process, we all, me, you, and Mike, were really on board with this as being like just a solid prospect who, if he ended up on a team, could come in and contribute day one. And little did we know he was hiding a knee injury, it sounds like, and he
Yeah.
had some sort of like knee cleanup, and he's still on the non-football injury list, even though he did finally sign the contract. So, it's like, first off, what are your thoughts on that? And then the other thing is apparently Landry's still hurt too. Like,
Landry's on pop.
is he getting a cut? Like what? He's still hurt. He got hurt like week 6 last year. He's done. You know?
Dude, I think
So
his career is just like over. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I don't know what they'll do. I don't know if they cut him and do injury, settlement release thing or whatever it is. But I don't know if he's gonna like be able to play football again, Landry, which sucks because those first 5 weeks
It's
he was
great.
nasty
Yeah.
last year. And then he was playing, at 20%. He couldn't do anything. So that would be incredibly unfortunate. But I don't know, something's off there on this Yakas kid. I can't think of a worse way to start your career in the NFL than this guy. It really is atrocious. How him, his agency, everything has handled the situation. You have to disclose your injuries, dude. You can't lie to the teams. You can't do that. Like that's setting yourself up for failure. And now your coach, the front office. What are they going to believe you? Like when you tell them shit, you know what I mean? Like if you're
Yeah.
starting off, no good relationship starts off with a lie. So I don't, or non-disclosure. So I don't know. Like I said, me and Mikey especially really liked this kid in the pre-draft process. Thought he was going to be like kind of guy who would come in, maybe have like 8-9 sacks as a rookie, be a good player. But this is looking like this is a redshirt year. I don't even know if he's going to be a factor on this team this year.
And what I don't understand is obviously in the draft process, he's working out for these teams. He's visiting with them. When did this happen? Was it like he had something like kind of lingering that he wanted to clean up before his career started? Did it happen working out? There's just such a lack of clarity with the situation. But I mean, like hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, it's like, yeah, he's good to go. He's on the field, and like maybe he start, as the season goes on, he can get into it. But he's just starting off with like so behind. And he was such a like this kid. He's pretty developed. He's not going to be your like freakish edge rusher with like all the tools. Who's going to be like a potential
Right.
star? But it was like this kid could be solid day one. So like I think there's a chance he contributes, but there's also definitely it's looking more and more like it might just be like you said, a redshirt season. So the other question with that, to me, it's okay. So you have Draymond Jones, who you signed. You have
Good flyer.
Elijah Ponder. You have Braden Swinson. I mean, who else on this roster even plays that edge spot? And there are some kind of big name veterans out on the market still that you could bring in. Jadeveon Clowney had 8.5 sacks for the Cowboys last year. He's still a free agent. I mean,
Played with Vrabel too. I think he had played for Vrabel at Tennessee at one point, maybe.
that sounds about right.
And Vrabel actually coached him. I know Vrabel coached him in Houston as well too. When Vrabel was linebackers coach in DC, he worked with him for a couple of years, so he knows him. He's got a relationship. I mean, Clowney is what he is. Like he's kind of just his own. He's a weird guy, like lone wolf type of guy. But like I
Yeah.
don't know, come in, make an impact for a year. Like he has ability if he's motivated. It's just whether he's motivated or not.
You need a body. Hassan Reddick's still out there. Joey Bosa, Von Miller. I mean, those guys are all. Joey Bosa, I feel like could be like just a guy who's been a pro and come in and be decent, because I think they really like Ponder. I think Swinson. I think you said he lost like 15 pounds. And
I like Ponder. I think
Ponder's
going to be. I think Ponder is going to like sneaky, like fans like us who watch the team follow, like know who he is. I feel like he might like burst onto the scene a little bit this year. Like, oh, who's that kid on the Pats who had 11 sacks this year and like forced 5 fumbles? It's like, oh, that's that kid Elijah Ponder from Cal Poly who was undrafted. Like, I sneaky think they got one there.
I think he did show some good flashes. Yeah, and I mean, like, he's going to have the opportunities if this is what the depth chart's looking like. And that kid, Braden Swinson, I mean, he was a 5th-round pick. I remember when they picked him, it was like, oh, this kid had a lot of, like, 2nd, 3rd-round grades from teams. There's a lot of athleticism there. So, I think maybe they give those kids a chance early in camp, see what they have, and then maybe you go.
But we need another body.
Yeah,
we need more.
It's like even if they are good, you still need another body. Never mind, like, if those guys aren't ready. That's kind of where I'm like they got to get somebody in.
Yeah, I mean, I know Vrabel's like, oh, I like our group. That's all fine and dandy. What's he going to say? No, we suck. We need somebody. But like a lot of these older veterans, dude, they don't want to go through training camp anymore, which I wouldn't either if I was, I'm the same age as some of these dudes. And I know I wouldn't want to put my body through hot July, August, crazy workouts and all that stuff, right? Couple weeks go by, training camp winds down, then you sign them, right? They don't need a ton of time to get acclimated.
Yeah.
You need them on 3rd down, get after the quarterback. You know what I mean? Anybody who's been in the league can do that, but they will probably need to get one of these veteran guys and pray to the gods old and new that Gabe Jacas like is fine physically and like this is just a mishap or misunderstanding and not like something larger. But it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it'd be a bummer if that pick just ends up being like a bust because it felt like it was like, oh, this is the most. I think they traded a 4th and a 6th to go up and get him, and it felt like such a
safe.
This is a safe, solid pick. He'll be a contributor for a while. He'll be like team. He was a team captain type at Illinois, and it's like,
yeah,
this is not what you expect from this kid. So we'll see what happens there. But it's funny. I feel like that's the second time in 3 years where they take this like safe 2nd rounder, thinking about Jalen Polk, who comes in and it's like, oh yeah, he'll be solid, and it's like, oh, actually he's a mess. And now I'm not putting Jacas there yet, but it would be a similar situation. The next big topic, really, that's the star of every beat reporter is saying the star of camp so far is Kayshon Boutte. So there was obviously a lot of trade rumors with him. Are they going to trade him for a pick? I can't. If he's just lighting up training camp, granted, they haven't even put the pads on yet, but we know he has a great connection with Maye. The more we get into this, it just feels like this team is like really ready to make a run. I can't imagine he's not on the team this season. What do you think?
I've been like screaming all off season, like, do not trade this kid. Like, it's so hard to draft somebody, develop them, and watch them get better every single year of their career, which this kid's done. He was in Bill Belichick's doghouse his first year. And then under Mayo that year, didn't play him a ton. Then he had that kind of breakout game, the last game of the year that ended up costing the Pats the number 1 pick in the draft. And then last year, they threw him the ball 40 times. He caught 33 of them for 6 touchdowns, close to 20 yards a catch. Unbelievable deep ball threat. Great connection with the quarterback. You just like can't underestimate and you can't predict chemistry with the quarterback. Sometimes some receivers just have it, and he just has it with Drake. They have a very good chemistry, and it's like, I don't know. They can't be worried about losing him in free agency next year, like, well, we're not going to pay him, so we don't want to lose him. So, let's just get the 5th round back. No, that's a loser mindset. Just go in, play him with Dobbs, play him with A.J. Brown. He's going to obviously, they're going to make his life easier, and he's going to get a lot of favorable matchups. And then it's like, okay, if you can't pay him and it doesn't work out, then you get the comp pick. You can't be afraid of that. You have to try and win when you have a great team around and a young quarterback around him. So, no, I'll be very upset if he's not a member of this team.
Yeah, the comp pick thing, I feel like it's overlooked. It's like you'd probably get something there if he does leave. Like, I don't see this team spending a ton in the next couple off seasons, given the Maye's going to have to get paid, the Gonzalez thing. It does make the Dobbs signing a little interesting. It was like, did they need to spend that much on Dobbs? Could they have spent that elsewhere, like on like the edge position? Because it's like you got a ton of depth at receiver right now. You got obviously Brown, Dobbs, Boutte. You got Matt Collins, who was like old reliable. I got a question about him too, but you got Mario Douglas still around. He seems to always be one of the stars of training camp, at least, and summer practices. And you got Kyle Williams and Chisholm, and I don't think both those guys are going to make the team. You use a 3rd-round pick on Williams, and it sounds like he's just not going to get many opportunities. But obviously, you don't know what injuries are going to happen.
Right.
But so I've heard some people float this idea. It's like they're obviously pretty limited at tight end depth with the Julian Hill injury. Sounds like this kid Raritan's looking pretty good, which is awesome news. It's obviously pretty damn early. We haven't seen him get physical yet, but seen people float the idea like, can Matt Collins play some tight end and like a move tight end? And I don't hate that idea. He's so well known for being a great blocker, and I don't think his opportunities as a wide receiver are going to be nearly what they were last season.
Yeah, I mean, they sneaky kind of did it a little bit in some formations last year. Like, I still have the play in my mind. It was against the Titans when they were playing the Titans. They kind of lined him up, and they ran the old Gronk play action play to him. Play action had him lined up in Gronk's old spot. Play action, middle of the field, wide open down. And I was like, dude, they ran this play with Rob Gronkowski for 10 years. He was lined up as a tight end. I'm like, okay, this is what they can kind of use him in similar formations. He's a great blocker. No, I would. Josh will get creative with him. He knows how to use Matt Collins. The best years of his career have been with Josh McDaniels. Obviously last year, and then when he was in Vegas too. So yeah, they'll use him in some formations like that. He can kick safeties and linebackers' ass in the run game blocking. So certain formations, obviously not every down, right? He's not a tight end, but move him around. Why not?
Yeah, no, I think it makes all the sense in the world. I think that they're just so loaded there that I like. He was such a good player last year. He had a good connection with Drake, and you're going to want to get him on the field. So, yeah, I think that group is pretty damn good, man. They've come a long way in just a few seasons, and really
think where we were at him in September of 2024, man.
Oh my God!
What our receiving core and tight end core is like our threats for rookie Drake Maye and Jacoby Brissett were under Gerard Mayo. We've come a long way in 2 years.
Who are we talking about by this? Yeah, like Douglas, Boutte, Jalen Polk,
Javon Baker.
Was there anybody else? Was there a veteran that we did let go of?
I'm trying to think who there was. So it was Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Pop Douglas. We'd already got Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju. Oh my God.
Osborne.
Osborne, yeah. I'm pulling up Pro Football Reference. Oh, Kendrick Bourne, but I don't think he played that much that year.
Kendrick Bourne, yeah, we didn't really use him. Actually, Juju might have been gone by then.
It was Baker. Yeah, I think Juju was gone by then. I think Juju was a year or so earlier. Yeah, that was it. Man, that was a tough situation for Maye to come into. So, yeah, they've really come a long way.
Yeah, we have a great receiving core, dude. I think we have a
really
sneaky,
good,
one of, if we're rolling out like our if we're in a 3 wide receiver set, dude, and they're rolling out Dobbs, AJ Brown, and Boutte, that's pretty good. Like that's a pretty good little trio right there. That's good, man.
It's really strong.
There's not too many teams in the league who have better than that.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So this one I think will be quick, but we've talked about this a bit. Any repercussions from Vrabel's offseason? Like, is that just gone and swept under the rug, does anything come up? And I think that's really hard to predict. But does Vrabel's crazy Diana Rossini affair offseason have any impact on the 2026 Pats?
I think maybe, dude, right? Like, I think it's going to be what happens in September, right? She hasn't talked yet. So if, September 2nd, 2 days before we play Seattle, she comes out with her all tell all
Oh my
interview, dude.
God.
Yeah, dude, like who knows? That could, be a huge distraction. Or say things don't start off their way. Like a lot of the teams that lose the Super Bowl do. They're 1-3 and it's not going well and it's a tough start to the season. Yeah. Like of course there could be some repercussions, not in terms of like he's not gonna lose his job, but like, in terms of how the season goes, when you lose, people start will of course bring that shit up and be like, oh well, maybe if you weren't, going to sex therapy during second day of the draft and you were with the team instead of, trying to save your marriage because you embarrassed yourself for 2 months, these things wouldn't be happening, So like, yeah, there could be. But if they win, we're not going to hear anything because that's how this league works. You could be the biggest piece of shit in the world, but if you're winning and you're scoring touchdowns or you're a coach and you're winning games, nobody cares. When you lose, that's when they start talking about it.
I hadn't thought about the Rossini tell-all. And the Rossini tell-all, what would that even be, though? It's like, oh, I slept with the whole league and was having an affair with Mike Vrabel. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a good point, though. But yeah, I don't have much else on that. I think the next
Like,
big
what if she's like, oh, he coerced, dude, you know how crazy women are, dude. What if it's like, oh, he coerced me into like saying, I'll give you this information on XYZ about the league, about our team when I was in Tennessee, if you have relations with me. You know how like women can be like that sometimes and she's like, and I felt pressured and I felt coerced, you know what I mean? Like, yes, that could be something fucked up that could
she's
happen,
trying to save her career. I mean, it does seem like they had like a legitimate like you don't have no 8-year affair without some sort of love aspect. So you would hope that kind of protects something between them, but I don't know, man.
Dude,
Uh,
he had a second life with her. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like this was like this little under the radar thing.
yeah.
Um, okay, next big topic. Can Will Campbell cement himself as a franchise left tackle, put last year's postseason struggles behind him, and overall, how will that offensive line unit look with the improvements they've made?
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge year for Will Campbell. Like, if he wants to be a starting left tackle in the NFL and like have a great career, like he's got to prove, like, hey, I'm not going to bitch about it, but last year I was hurt in the playoffs. Like I shouldn't have came back. I did it because we were a great team and I wanted to help my team play in the Super Bowl. But I was like really injured. Obviously he shouldn't say that, but like his play will dictate like, oh, well, that was just because he was injured. He just shouldn't have been playing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, obviously I want him to do well. I think one thing that's so key for him, I don't know if it's being really talked about too much, is just the fact that he gets to play next to Elijah Vera Tucker, who is when he's healthy, he's one of the best guards in the NFL. This guy's like an all-pro guard. I mean, that's gonna. And last year he was playing next to another fellow rookie who was playing out of position too. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Will because he didn't play well. I mean, those are the facts. But I think he has some better circumstances this year, and we'll see what happens when Pats come on tomorrow. It's good. That's gonna be a real telltale sign. Like, is he kicking Braden Swinson's ass? Is he kicking Elijah Ponder's ass? Tremont Jones. Like, is he's dominating these guys? Like, that's what his goals should be and his mindset should be. Like, I should be kicking your guy's ass every day in practice.
yeah. I think Wilson's struggles were a little bit swept under the radar because of Campbell's struggles as well. And like the tackle just gets the fourth overall pick tackle is going to get more blame than the third round rookie. Also, I mean, they're both rookies, but yeah. And then, I mean, yeah, like you said, I think the same thing. Vera Tucker is going to come in, help solidify that. I think just having Lomu, as like hey, we want to run the ball. Let's put Lomu in as the sixth tackle. This kid's a first round pick, real talent.
Yep.
Like, I think they already said Morgan Moses is getting days off. Like, Lomu is going to be a big part of this team, I think. So, yeah, it's like it should be better than last season. Like we talked so much most of last season where they could not run the football, and then all of a sudden it just clicked late in the season, and a lot of that was going to that 6-0 lineman thing with what was it, Thayer Munford. So,
Yep.
yeah, look, very much a big question for them this year. Something else has been getting like a tiny bit of question. Any concern about the lack of connection between Maye and Brown at these early training camp practices? I would say definitely not, but you never know, I guess, like it's like there is questions of, oh, is Brown like on the downside and where we got him at, but I think it's too early to have any idea.
I'm more afraid of global warming than I am of AJ Brown and Drake May not having connection, dude. It's 3 days. Like they haven't put the pads on yet. Like it's so
Yeah,
silly. They didn't practice today, and I think Monday might have been kind of a walkthrough ish type of day. So they've had 3 practices.
yeah.
I'm not gonna be worried about Drake May and AJ. They're learning how to play football together. This is their first time playing. This is this is Drake May and Boutte's third,
Hmm.
camp together, third offseason. Like they have a chemistry. Like that's what happens. You play with guys, you practice with them all year. You know what I mean? You know what they like, what they don't like. AJ and him are just learning. They haven't put on pads yet. They're gonna be just fine.
And I even remember last year, this summer, it was a lot of like, oh, May doesn't look great. May's not. He's had a lot of shaky days. He's not on the same page with these guys. And then it was like, all right, boom, season starts. He's a superstar. And I think sometimes when you got these beat reporters like tracking their completions and stuff, and it's like sometimes they're just working on certain concepts against certain looks, and it's like you're not actually like doing what you would act like. You're trying to throw to a specific guy or something. Like it's so irrelevant, I think, for the most part, how they look now. And it's like, oh, Brady went out there, he was 23 or 25 in practice in a joint practice and just lit up a team. Like, yeah, that's more telling. But there's just it's classic modern day media where everything's just kind of overanalyzed.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, Jeff House started this years ago, and he used to report for whatever the Herald or the Globe. He started doing these fake training camp stats, and then all the other beat writers started doing it. It had you're like it's what you just said, Adam. They're probably a lot of the time they're probably working on like a certain coverage or concept that they're going to see. It doesn't count. Like it's not
yeah,
an
it's
actual
practice.
statistic. It's
Yeah,
practice.
yeah,
like
it's fine.
I kind of just try. I mean, so one of my friends texted me about it too. I was like, dude, stop! Like this is day 3 of like practice. Dude, it's not an actual
Yeah,
game. It's not even a scrimmage. It's not a joint practice. Now, like remember a couple of years ago when we played the Eagles in the joint practice and we got our lunch handed to us? It's like, okay, yeah, that's a little different. That's like closer to a preseason game, competitive. This is practice third day with no shoulder pads, no contact. So get out.
yeah, we were the worst team in football, and they won the Super Bowl that year. And yeah, but
Yeah.
I do think it is nice to say when you see like, oh, Bootie's lighting it up, and he keeps getting by the defense, and they're just locked in. Like, yeah, that tells you something, but it doesn't even tell you that much what it's going to look like. Um,
Right.
I don't have any more like current. I have a couple other topics. Like I have like season outlook, and then some other like kind of non-pat stuff. Did you have anything else with the Patriots you want to go over?
Yeah, I just want to see, like, I think with this training camp for me, and we talked about it a little bit with Will Campbell, but is like, obviously part of the reason why they were in the Super Bowl and they had such a great season that they had is because they got such a return on investment from their rookies and their young players. Now, what's it going to look like for these guys in year 2 of their system where they're not like doing the transition from college to the NFL? Their bodies are used to it now. They've had a full off season to recover, train, recuperate. Like, how are those rookies and those guys from last year? Like, what's Craig Woodson going to look like? A guy who was a friggin' machine and got better every week and was an animal in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. Like, can he take that next step? Could he be like a Pro Bowl, all pro type safety playing next to Kevin Byard? Can Travion Henderson, who showed
Yeah.
flashes of talent, but like not quite all there, can he show like what he was at Ohio State? Can he take that next step? So that's what I'm interested to see. Can Kyle Williams? We haven't even talked about Kyle Williams yet. Can he like make a mark for himself on a very crowded and talented wide receiver room? So Andy Borregales is one of the best rookie kickers in the league last year. Can he show that wasn't a fluke and that he's like a legitimate good kicker in this league? So there's a lot of questions that I have and see how those rookies go from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. It's crazy we haven't mentioned Trayvon Henderson. I haven't heard a peep about Trayvon Henderson. Now, non-padded running back stuff, you're not going to hear
Right.
much, but it's like, yeah, he could be a huge factor if he could figure out. I mean, I was very frustrated with him last year. I thought he just really did not hit the holes well, and he was just a little disappointing. But it's like, hey, that was a rookie year. So we see that happen sometimes where a guy struggles a little bit his rookie year, then kind of pops as his career goes on. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. I think, like you said, that group, there was such a big factor in the regular season, and they had such a kind of a letdown in the playoffs. Which, like in hindsight, it's like going from college to pros. It's a long ass season, and it's like you're getting to January. It's cold. A lot of those guys aren't used to that. They're not used to playing football that long. Like it's definitely a little bit different. It could be a little bit worn down. Um, and then yeah, like the rookie class. I mean, it's really like three guys are even talking about. Can any of those other guys stand out in this training camp? Right, like it's a kid Prunty, the corner they took. I think what was the kid's the linebacker from TCU. The hell is his name?
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, I forget that. I wish I had the name in front of me right now, but Albiador or something like that, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
I know exactly who he is. It's not a name I can say. I know he's like a special teams kind of whiz guy, great
yeah,
athlete, but I cannot pronounce his name.
yeah. So I mean, there's going to be opportunities. Even the kid from BC, he's at camp, right? The kid who got in trouble.
He shouldn't be. He should be. He should be in jail. But
Is he at camp?
the kid who smacked around his girlfriend at the dorms, yeah, he should.
Yeah,
I'm surprised the Patriots didn't cut him.
I
Actually,
know. So the kid from Namdi Obiazor was the kid from
Nabdi
TCU.
Abiazor, okay, from TCU.
Jam Miller, I actually saw some people say he looks good. Now, I don't know how you're evaluating running backs. That's the running back from Alabama. Like, can he be the third string running back? That's going to be interesting. Is that those guys get some play? Um, I don't know if Hutchins is a Cam, but yeah. And then I guess my final thing was like, all right, so for the season, we're early on this. Um, what do you got for a record?
Oh, that's so hard to ask before we put on pads. I'm gonna say 11-6, though. I think they'll go 11-6. Like they have an incredibly difficult schedule. People are saying, oh, they're gonna come out the gates. It's gonna be a little slow. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they pop Seattle week 1 up in Seattle. I know that's a tough place to play, but Super Bowl, like, usually the Super Bowl winner, like at home, there's a lot of hoopla. They kicked our ass. We'll be probably a little bit more motivated. I think Seattle was like a true, as good of a coach I think Mike McDonald is, that was a true once in a lifetime type team. They will never sniff what they were last year. They will never come close to that game again. Darnold will never be in that spot. They lost their workhorse, Kenneth Walker. They lost some guys on defense. Their all-world rookie safety, Nick Imanwaro, might not play. Like he's on pup, I think, to start. So I just, I think we'll win that game, and then I think we'll maybe be 2-2 the first month, and then we have the schedule gets a little bit more favorable, and I think we can manage to ride the rest of the way out, go 9-4 the rest of the way through, and get in 11-6 is my prediction.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 12-5. I think they got a good team. I think it's gonna be another really fun season, and like it's funny. You're saying summer's over. I love the summer, man. Like I love.
Oh,
It
me
goes
too.
by so damn fast when you're an adult. It's like we're about to be in August. Like these months just fly by so fast. But like once the silver lining is like the fall is just the absolute best around here, especially when the Patriots are good. But before we jump, a couple more football topics.
Yep.
Jace Patriots related is this for one, it's like they're saying Mike Lombardi put on administrative leave by the University of North Carolina, and like they're being investigated for some recruiting violations. That's like, dude, the recruiting rules are the Wild West nowadays. What the hell are they doing to be getting in trouble in North
I,
Carolina, dude?
I don't know what like everything that Bill Belichick does, he just continues to embarrass himself. He associates himself with this absolute jamoke, Mike Lombardi, only guy to get fired from every job that he's
He's
ever
a
had. It's
jamoke,
honestly impressive.
dude. So like, I've always been a big Bill Simmons podcast guy. He used to go on the Simmons pod for a while when he wasn't employed.
Mhm.
And he would just be like so fucking arrogant about whatever he
Yes.
was like, dude, who are you? Like he acted like he was Belichick. He was like, oh, like he acted like he had like 8 rings in his pocket and was like the most successful NFL mind of all time. It was like, dude, nobody knows who you are. And I think that's been a big part of Bill's kind of like downfall. Is like he just puts these schmucks around him who it's like his friends who were kind of just like not the right people to be in these positions. I mean, Lombardi was saying we're going to be the 33rd NFL team, and it's like, man, this is just it's embarrassing.
That quote will haunt Bill, and even though Bill didn't say it, that will haunt him and his whole outlook on North Carolina for the rest of his time. I mean, I can't. I know it's wicked hard to get in trouble with the recruiting stuff now in college, but I'm not surprised that Bill and his stooges messed it up. They've messed up everything from day one there.
They really
Every,
have to.
like, dude, the North Carolina program, like, kind of wasn't terrible. Like Sam Howell and they had a couple of good running backs and they won like 10 games. And then Drake Maye was there. They were in like, contention for the ACC championship. But like they weren't a terrible program. And now they are an absolute disaster program. You watch, dude. What do you think
I mean, I hope that they have a good season. I love Bill. I was rocking a North Carolina hat last summer. I was like, oh, like at UNC, baby, this is my team. And then it just, that was kind of like, I got the hat, I think, before the Jordan stuff started coming out. And it was quickly like, all right, I can't wear this hat. Like, this hat's going in the closet. It's not coming out anytime soon. Um, no, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's going to go well. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm probably like, this isn't, he probably gets fired November, but like if they win like 7 games, does he get fired? Like, and it's like he did, like he was getting a lot of recruits in. I don't know like how many high level guys, but like it was the first year last year. It's like it can take a couple years to build these programs. All these with college nowadays, like not really. It can be so overnight. I don't know, man. Like I just wish he could go back in time and retire and just have called it a day in like 2020. In like 2020, honestly, in 2019, Brady's done. I'm done. I had the best career ever. I'm done. Like it's such a shame that this is how it's gone down. Like people, yeah, yeah. Honestly, dude. Well, that that was my next topic. What do you think about Brady's antics? I mean, Brady's almost more embarrassing than Bill. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that this is where we're at with these guys. Like, how the? It's not like it's like, oh, like 20 years later they're like acting kind of weird. It's like he just got done, and it's like, dude, what? It's not even like he needs money. I don't get it. He got this crazy contract with Fox. It's like it's like it's not even like, oh, like he must have got smoked in a divorce. Like she was fucking super wealthy too. I don't like if he had just slapped Logan Paul and it wasn't scripted. I was like, I like saw that I was out to eat. Like I got a text. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I was like, wait, this is the most scripted thing ever. Like, what is he doing? Who does he have anybody in his circle? He's taking out Michael Rubin, who's like such a clown. Like, is there anybody in Bill's circle to be like? I mean, Tom Circle that's like, hey, dude, like no, this isn't cool. This isn't working. You gotta like tone it down and just go announce the games, be a legend, and just leave it at that. Like, why you have to be such in the spotlight? I don't get it. Yeah, I always thought like Edelman and Gronk were like pretty close with him, and like maybe they could like rib him a little bit, but it's yeah, it, yeah. And the irony of all of it is really both for Bill and Brady was they were both so kind of like private. Like, I mean, especially Bill. It was like nothing gets out. And Brady was kind of like in that whole Patriots way system. And now everything both of them do is out in the media. Like they can't stop being in the spotlight. It's crazy, man. Um, No. Dude, it's like my two childhood heroes. They're just like, oh man, it's crazy. All right, last quick question. What do you think about this whole LeBron going to Philly? It's not like it's like prime LeBron James either. I mean, I was kind of hating on him more at first, and I think they'll probably be pretty good in the regular season because it's like, all right, even if Embiid and LeBron sit, you're still gonna have Maxey and Brown to like go carry the scoring load. But like basketball is just a game where like it's so much about what we've talked about, even with Brown stuff, where it's not just scoring the ball that matters, and all those guys, especially Maxey and Brown are like they're just scorers. That's what they do. And Embiid is a scorer. Embiid obviously he's like huge, but his main thing is that he's like this dominant scorer. He's never been like this amazing passer. I think LeBron will help fill a lot of that, but he's not going to play every night. Embiid's going to play 40 games, and then ultimately you were like, we saw what happened with Embiid. He played 4 games and he wore out. He's not going to make the playoffs are a grind. Like, you got to go through 2 months of playing, like, you get to the conference finals and it's every other night, like intense games. Embiid's not making it through it like a playoff run at this stage of his career. So, I mean, and even if they like, oh, we'll sit him every other night, they might have to sit him every other night in the playoffs to have a chance. Like, that's how worn down I think he looked. Maybe he comes back down like 30 pounds. Like, that's probably what he needs to do realistically to extend his career. I can't wait for the C's too. Like, I actually think the C's are going to be pretty damn good. I actually think, last thing, I legitimately think Stephen Curry might be coming to Boston. So if I'm the Warriors, there's this talks like, yeah, like they're realizing. I mean, they keep coming in like ninth place. It's like what good is coming in ninth place every year? They need to focus on how they become their next championship team. That's like a really serious franchise. Steph and Draymond and Jimmy Butler off an ACL, like they're done. So Steph's 38. Is if he's like, all right, I got like a few years left. He's still pretty fucking good. If he's like, hey, I want to maybe like go somewhere else to try to win another championship, like and like be in big games. Now, if that that's what would have to happen, right? Like he'd have to kind of like I don't think they'd ever just trade him. He's too much of a franchise icon. But if he kind of was like, you know what, maybe I could go play elsewhere. You look around, they have to match. He makes $62 million a year. So you're looking at the good teams in the league. Who has like a $60 million range contract that you can exchange there? Like the other one is San Antonio. If they were like, hey, we'll do Fox, Curry swap, that might even be more enticing for him, honestly. Um, that would be sick. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, that one probably makes even more sense. But it's like, hey, they have the kid Harper. He looks like a star. Like, are they going to take the ball out of his hands? But I think like if it's like Paul George's contract sitting there, if we could like flip some picks and Paul George for Steph, like I think Golden State would want to do right by him if he did come to that point and say like, hey, trade me to a good team. I don't know who else has this massive contract and like legit championship. Because if it's Steph and Tatum in this roster, that's a legitimate championship team, I think. So he's not done. Yeah. Like Missoula ball, 3-point rate. They're all about that. Steph Tatum pick and roll. Like I've talked about, like, yeah, like as effective as the Tatum Brown duo was, like you couldn't really run like a single play around their strengths to like get a bucket. And I think you could run more of that with Tatum, Steph. Like all of it makes so much sense to me. And like, I just feel like he might set a point where like, man, what are we doing in Golden State? We're going to be an 11 seed this year. We stink. What's the point? So that's that's probably the most likely outcome. And Draymond's extension did kind of put a little bit of hit into my sales here, but maybe it's next summer. I don't know because Draymond only signed a 1-year deal. young and expiring. Yeah, yeah. He's been kind of hinting at like I don't have much left in the tank. So yeah, I don't even know what it would cost. It's such like a strange situation. You know what I mean? Even like mid-season, man. If it's like, hey, we suck. We're in 12th place. We'll trade Steph and Draymond. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's probably the most likely outcome. I guess my thought is like if he does come to the trade thing, I think it's like Brad, get on that. And I think that that's probably the cleanest fit is just bringing him to Boston, and he'd be an amazing fit in our system, culture, and everything. So I don't know. That's just something I'm kind of. I think something will happen with that Paul George contract where they bring in some like really great player, or like that's the kind of like the goal here. I think. Like, I don't think you're gonna just like turn Paul George into like two pretty good guy, two like $20 million salaries and call it a day. I don't know because once they get to next summer, you got like Cada's extension kicks in, like they're going to be over the cap, so you can't just like sign someone with Paul George cap space once that expires. So they're going to have to turn that into something. But yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that'll do it. Hope everybody enjoy this episode. We'll be back talking Pats for the rest of the season. So really excited about it. Great to see you again, G.